Look at those faces.
It's really crazy here. We're live?
We have Fernando and Michelle today. Yep, we're live. Fernando's making all kinds of funny faces. Everyone. Speaking of, you guys are just so positive. Both Michelle and Fernando are like such positive people. They both have been through so much. Michelle with the fires, and then Fernando's got hurricanes going on. You guys are amazing, but I'm so glad you guys are okay and safe.
Going to us.
Oh.
Sorry,
yeah, he's just like, oh, my power went out. Let me restart, and I'll be right on. Like, no problem.
I'll learn how to swim tomorrow.
You guys are awesome. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
We can have like a lag,
this year,
right?
Man.
It's like
a lag.
Yeah.
I think there is a lag. I don't know.
Like hearing me way after that. Anyways, let's start.
Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, I've got a lag. I've got the lighting all wrong. I don't know what's going on. I need to have my own, like, technical expert at my house. But anyway, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can. I don't know if the people watching can, but
all right, perfect. Well, I am excited for what you guys have been working on. Michelle said she was even trying to work on it during, so you guys are so dedicated. But tell us a little bit about it. What is this bookstore class that you guys have been working on?
Well, Fernando is in the print-on-demand business, and I'm in the book publishing business, which is print-on-demand. So, and we've done classes before, but what we found is in the last year, or even especially the last 6 months, we've had our students been asking us how to make their own online bookstore. And so we've been working on this for some time, and we're like, all right, let's bring it to them. We listen to our audience, so we're bringing this to them, and it's about that. It's about having their own brand, their own niche bookstore, and to be able to start collecting their own customers instead of sending them over to Amazon where they go look around at everything else, and buy other things. We want to keep them on our own site, and then it's branded so that they can post and share that and not be promoting Amazon.
Amazing. I love it. Whose idea was this?
Our students.
Yeah, technically we're students. I mean, as you know, I focus on teaching Etsy and Shopify, and a lot of people, in my world is like, how can we publish books? And I'm like, I know how to do it in principle, in the e-commerce world, I know how to do those things, but I am not a book guy. Okay, so I don't do KDP.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I don't want to, it's because I don't have the time. I mean, I cannot diversify so broad, otherwise I am just doing nothing everywhere. But Michelle does. I mean, and as you know, Michelle and I worked together in another course about 6 months ago that was the book listing bling, but we put our heads together, the KDP and the Amazon, Amazon world, which I do FBA, and she used to do FBA in today's as well. So we were like, okay, we can combine. I know how to create all these things in Seller Central because I've been doing private label stuff like that. So we put them together. We came with that course together, and we started talking about this one, and she's like, my people want to learn how to have a bookstore, and I'm like, my people that have stores want to know how to add books to it. So we were like, duh, let's make something to unify the two worlds. And we got into the research. We got our store. We tested it. We started selling, and and it has been good. So we've been talking about this for over 6 months now. It was something that didn't happen like 2 weeks ago, and we're like, yeah, let's do it through the fires. We were gonna actually launch right before the fires, and we decided to hold it a little longer, and because I also went through the other the storm, so it got me delayed, and then she went to the fires, and now I'm going through a storm. So it's like fire and water. So it's her turn. But yes, it's something that our students actually asked us for. So, and it has been getting a lot of reaction. So, hello, Patty.
Amazing. Yeah, Patty's saying good to see you all. Yeah, I think it's so cool. There's just so much you don't even think about doing. Like I didn't even think about that we should just do our own bookstore. But I think it's a good idea. And you're always talking about building a brand. I mean, this is a much better way. Build a brand. Just like everybody's been doing with print on demand, might as well do it with books too.
Mm-hmm.
And
so tell me a little bit about the format.
She's the master of those things.
Oh, okay. So when folks are using the KDP platform, the books are formatted in paperback. And that's the only option that we get. So one of the other things that our students have been asking is for hardcovers and spirals. And so we are including that in this course too, how to have print-on-demand spirals and hardcovers. And then printables has also become very big in the digital download world. And so we're adding that in too. So we just adding in more things to this class. So it is jam-packed full of things. So the formats are those paperbacks, hardcovers, spirals, printables. So, and you could always expand your store and do other print-on-demand things with it later on. But that's our focus in this class, is to create your own online bookstore. Be the boss of it, the CEO of your own store.
Awesome. It includes so much. I meant like the four. Is it like a whole bunch of different classes, or is it a live event, or like?
Right over her head.
That's okay. I didn't know it included.
She was so excited to answer, and I was like,
I said it all wrong so cheerfully. That should count still.
I know, it was perfect.
Fernando, take it away.
Okay, so this is not really a course. Okay, what we have done is that we have learned that when we are teaching something that is only for a specific topic, it's better to do it in the masterclass format. So what we're going to be doing is doing 2 classes of about 2 hours each, where we're going to cover all the material and how to do it, and what you need, and how you're going to host this store and everything else. Then we're going to have another 2 hours that is going to be for any Q&As, any last thoughts, anything we may have forgotten to add. So it's going to be 3 hours in recorded. You don't have to be present, but if you're present, you get to ask a question, you get to participate, because it's going to be in the webinar format. So you can be with us, and we have noticed that when we do this format as well, people tend to ask the question during time, and we can correct the way we are showing the material. So it's a format that has worked very well for Michelle in the past, and that I have adopted as I go with her, and it has brought very good results. We have also done quite a good number of other pre-recorded videos that we are not going to release to the people until after the webinars are done, because we don't want to confuse them. As like in one of these trainings is like how to connect your new store, and be able to sell books on eBay. A lot of people have asked us, how can we sell journals on eBay as well? And to be honest, it's like literally, like when I showed Michelle how to do it, she was like, "You're joking?" I was like, "No." It's like a 5-minute process, and she had a book listed on eBay with the whole integration going through our print-on-demand fulfiller. And she was like, "Oh, okay." So we added that. I know a lot of people make a lot of things sound very difficult. We are going straight to the chase. You do this, you're going to hear, you will do that, and there you go. You have now something connected to eBay. Michelle does a whole tutorial on how to select the right, a domain that is also included in the deal, because domains are important not only for image and branding, but also for SEO and being found on Google. So, and we have a few more different trainings that we add extra into the course. So it's a lot of product for $97.
Wow.
And that is why we have in the sales page that once we start recording on Thursday, the price is going to double to now $197, which we still believe is cheap. But we want to help as much people as possible. And when you think that we are 2 people involved, and then we have also people helping us with marketing, you realize that everybody else is getting, not getting rich out of this. So we are really doing it because we have a lot of people that have been asking us for it. And we believe that, coming Q4 is going to be an amazing product to have be able to fulfill, because you can also order a bunch of these products and have them, in stock in your house, because they don't take a space at all. They don't, and you can even fulfill them for even after, the whole fulfillment process are way behind, which we're going to expect a lot of those behind in productions. I mean, I'm pretty sure like something like Merch by Amazon is going to tell us by the 1st we cannot take more orders because we are completely backlogged. But yeah, I'm going in circles. So
that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's a good point about the fulfillment. I think you're right that some of the fulfillment partners will get behind. But thank you guys again for making this. I was telling Fernando, I'm like, I'm so glad that you guys make courses, because it is just too hard for me. Like, I don't like it. It's so much work to make a course. So I really appreciate you guys making them. And Michelle's like making this in her RV as she's like being evacuated from years. I cannot believe the dedication, the work ethic, and all of it. It's amazing. So really appreciate you both.
I'm camped out in my RV, that for 8 days I was evacuated, and we were ready to launch it. We were 90% ready to just hit this out the door, because we wanted people to have it before fourth quarter, to serve our audience and help them. And so I was sitting in my RV with about a dozen other families camped out this one place. And I went out. I learned, my husband showed me how to fire up the generator because he had to go to work one day. So I know how to do that now. So I turned on the generator, plugged my laptop in, connected to my cell phone, and I worked through and tried to get that course ready to go, except the final videos. But Helen, that's really what it's all about, though, when you think about it. Fernando's
One story. Michelle always wakes up before I wake up. Okay, I even Central Time. She's in Pacific Time. She's like awake at 4:30 in the morning every day, right? So I know that if I message Michelle by 7 p.m., she's sleeping. 7 p.m. my time, 5 her time. She's gone. She won't answer. She's in a different world. Okay, we're in part of the universe. When she was away, she was messaging me at midnight, and I'm like, did somebody hack her phone or something? It's like, why is she messaging me this late? It was weird because I work the night shift and she works the morning shift. So, and I was like, why is she messaging me? It's like, I just got internet. I'm so excited. I want to work. It was hilarious. It's like her mouth was tasting like ashes, but she was like, I didn't get the coffee I wanted, but I'm hyper.
Oh my gosh! I know I was ready to work,
but
Fernando, he's stuck in the hurricane, situation, and I'm in Oregon and stuck in the Pacific Northwest, all these wildfires and being evacuated. But that's what having a print-on-demand business is really about, right, Helen? Yeah. Even if you're doing merch or any of the other print-on-demand business models that are out there, this is what it's all about, because I'm still making money in my print-on-demand business, even though I'm not at home, even though I can't connect to electricity or the internet or any of that. And that's the thing I was telling my students, is that's the thing that gets me out of bed in the morning too, is knowing that it's always there. And then I'm just continuing to build that bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's a great part about print on demand.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I love that. So true. And I can attest to Michelle being up early, because I sent a message asking a question this morning at 9:30 my time, thinking it would just sit there for a little while until they could get to it, because it was 6:30 Michelle's time. She wrote back in like 10 seconds. I'm like, you're up. So thank you for that.
Well, it was like 3 p.m. for the people in South Africa and like 8 o'clock at night for the Philippines. And I had already been communicating with both of those also.
Yeah, we usually take care
all
of
different time zones.
At different time zones. So it's like when she goes to sleep is when I start answering messages in the Facebook group and stuff like that. So we tend not to get cross in doing the stuff, because otherwise, I mean, we are literally like only for like 4 hours where people won't hear about us in the day, and we are pretty much just 2 hours apart. So it was pretty nice.
Yeah, that's great. Well, tell us more about the. You were showing me a screenshot of some of the things from the course. Do you want to go ahead and share your screen and tell us a little more?
Most,
Okay, perfect. Let me add it.
Answer those.
what?
I believe we have also a few questions, Saba.
Do we have questions?
Yes, we can do that too. Do you want to
Whatever
answer
you
some of
want.
those right now? Here, we'll do one of Patty's. We'll do one of Patty's real quick. Are people doing personalized books, like kid books about that kid, little Michelle lives in Oregon, etc.?
Yes.
So personalized books.
Yes, Michelle lives in Oregon. Yes. Fernando, can you answer that? Does the fulfillment supplier allow us to set up a personalized book? So let's say, like my bookstore my niche is mermaids. So if I wanted to create a book about mermaids and then personalize it and put maybe my grandkid's name in it or something, can we do that? That's a great question. I think maybe we might check into it, or we can check into that. Let's check into it.
We could create. I mean, it could be done. You can get an app that allows you for customization, and it will create a template for you. But because these are very unique templates for books, I don't know if they will work. But doesn't mean you cannot do it. You can definitely create a product listing where you can have like, hey, here's the book. You fill the blank, and you can have like little questionnaire where they can fill the blanks of what they want. The name, the city, and the colors, and you can give them options of you want to use this girl, and and you already have all the templates done already. You fill the blanks, and then you upload the the new product. You could do those, and they sell very well on Amazon Custom. I have seen them for many years. I remember when I made my first Amazon Custom course about 4 or 5 years ago. I used those examples of the people making money with those books, and they were not printing on KDP. They were printing in these publishers that we will talk about. They literally go and fill the blanks in their templates. They upload the template, which once you have the template done and you have the sizing approved and you have everything right, you can upload the templates literally in a couple of minutes. So. Yeah. And you can sell these books for quite a hefty price, especially you sell them next to a shirt or something for the kid. You can make a nice looking combo that I could easily sell for $50-$60. So is it worth the manual work in this case? Yes, I believe that this is a product that it will be worth spending $10-$15 or having a VA process all those little extra books. Yes, I definitely think this can be done in this store for sure.
All right, great, thank you. So how this compares, because we want people to be the boss of their own CEO of their own bookstore. So how that differs from KDP, because a lot of people are familiar with KDP. So over here on this KDP board, we have these 3 tabs where on the first tab, you fill out all the title of your book. And the second tab, you upload all your cover and your interior, and then you set your price. So this one is a little different. So let me show you how being the CEO of your own store is going to look. Here, there's the KDP store. And what you're going to do is have one continuous long page. And I put them together here because that way you could see them. So this is really one page continued. So in your storefront dashboard, what you're going to have is you're going to put in the title, and then you're going to put in a description, upload some pictures of it, set your price, and then it actually, like I said, continues down, and then you fill in this page. And then what the really neat part is, Helen, and this is the part that's so huge, is I get this URL here. Okay, I get a URL that's branded to my mermaid store because that's my niche store. And so instead of sending everyone a link that says, hey, let me see what books you have, sending them to Amazon and they go buy, the Little Mermaid video from Disney instead of buying my book, then now I have this. And that is the really neat part about it. And then so the next page is what you get to choose, whether you get color or black and white interior. And the paper is better than the KDP paper. This 60-pound paper is really nice. It's thicker. And so I really like it. It's great. It's great for coloring books too, if you're in the coloring book business. And then you get to choose here, depending on what you uploaded, how many pages it is, whether you want a spiral bound, which is coil. It's actual real spiral. Fernando will hold a spiral, one of his. And then perfect bound, which is paperback. And then you can also choose linen or K-strap, which is hardbound. So that's cool. And then you just, you choose your print on demand options and you go. And what shows up in your store is just like this. So here's my mermaid spiral book. books. It looks like that. That's how it's really actually quite easy to do once you get it connected. And then when someone buys, my sketchbook, for example, then it is the fulfillment supplier ships it, prints it and ships it and sends it to my customer for me, just like KDP does. But instead, now it's shipped from Michelle in my mermaid store. So that's how we want you to have your own online storefront. That's kind of how it works.
And the pricing per product is honestly at the same.
So cool.
It's about the same price for KDP. So the only difference is that you don't have Prime, but honestly, it doesn't really make any difference, because right now people go to your store are not expecting Prime shipment anyways. And second, they are expecting to be better quality product than what they would buy in a marketplace like Amazon, right? So you don't have the competition that when people go through that funnel, that they will have. You're competing against you. They don't like your product. They look at some other product. Okay, big deal. It's my product that they're buying anyways. So it is a simple process. As anything has a learning curve, but it's a pretty fast learning curve. I mean, when I think when I explained Michelle how to do this store, I think you learned it in about a day. You were creating your own books, so I mean it's not that much of a headache. So now she got her own store, and then she's gonna conquer the world over me one of these days. But she's into world domination. We're pinky in the brain.
Awesome.
But
so neat.
Yeah.
So with this tool that you guys have, can you set up more than one different bookstore, or how does that work?
It's one only store, and we ask, and you can remove the share screen you want to. It's a one each store, and yesterday somebody asked us if they could have 10 different stores, and we're like, no, yeah, well, you can if you want to. I mean, it's gonna have a hosting cost of about $30 a month. So, you don't want to have the many. Besides the fact you can afford it or not, it's irrelevant. Honestly, $300 you are making money is no money. It's the time. I mean, you're gonna have one or two stores with the niches of your passion, something that you truly believe, something you want to drive, and something you want to build. You want to build a brand at the end of the day, and that is something that we need to remove from the equation when we're thinking how many I want to have. It's like, think about one. You only need one
at a time.
One at a time with as many relevant products as you can have. If the many means 5, then 5 it is. I mean, I have seen stores with literally 3 products, and the 3 products is 1 product, 3 flavors. So, and they're $1 million businesses. So you don't need to have a saturated store. I was a real bookseller years ago, dream of having my own Sunday. Okay. Sorry.
I like Patty's comment. She said she was a bookseller years ago, and then Jeff Bezos changed her dream, but now this is bringing it back. Chicago Patty Bookstore. I love that, Patty.
And I believe you will do it, Patty. You are a rock star. Anything that Patty does, she is always so I know that she will have it. And, to add on to that question regarding the number of bookstores, we're here to also create a customer base, which we're not able to do on Amazon using KDP. We don't know who our customers are. But to be able to say, hey, you know what? I just released my next mermaid book, and I already have the clientele, and they might just love this new product that I just launched, and to be able to email them or promote them. So building that client base is what it's about, too, to build that brand. One other thing I was going to share.
That goes perfectly. That goes perfectly with what Patty was saying. She was asking if you talk about social sites, because I think that also is like building a customer base too.
We have a little surprise promote thing. We're going to talk about that in our 3rd session. So I think I'll table that one. We're going to have a really cool surprises we'll throw in. So we're just going to leave that secret for our 3rd session. But anyway, so if I wanted to have a bigger store, I might choose to have maybe my fantasy store that has mermaids, unicorns, and fairies or something. So I could broaden my store a little bit and then have different categories set up in the menu for those things. I haven't chosen that because I wanted mine to be very specific. I had written some children's books based on mermaids, and so I wanted to take that particular niche that I created and add a whole additional product line to go with it. And that was my goal with my own online bookstore. And so, yes, you could make it a bigger store with more categories, or you can niche it down. But definitely keep it some kind of niche, because that's going to help me to sell better to my audience.
There are niches that go together, you know,
Yes.
hand in hand. And there are niches that even though they may be, they don't. Like, for example, you can have, like she said, mythical creatures, like mermaids and mermaids and unicorns and whatnot. They go together. They are, almost every single girl, every single lady, likes those. But you cannot have, for example, a sports store together, like having the volleyball, soccer, football, and stuff like that. Those are completely different tastes. And they are completely different, markets. So when you have them together, it's like, okay, unless they're expecting at sports stores like, like Academy, when they go to a niche store, it's like they want to talk about a specific niche, right? Like coffee and tea, they go together. People like coffee usually like tea, so they're hot beverage drinkers. You can. I'm not a coffee drinker, but
I gotta get some mermaids put on here.
Yeah, you need some of those mermaids. Like
that's coming.
Yes,
we won't talk about that, but I will do that.
Oh, I know you will. I know you will.
Is this our chance to drink coffee right now?
The reason is when you're sending emails, you want the people to read them to connect to the email. So if you send an email to somebody who bought a mermaid shirt today, send an email, hey, look at my new collection, my new products for this week, and you send them a bunch of little unicorns, they're gonna be like, oh, these are cute. They may even buy it, and they may not even subscribe because they're not gonna feel like useless email list. But it's somebody who goes and this week they bought from you something that has to do with, I don't know, soccer. And next week you send them something that says, hey, we're going to talk to you about, dieting. It's like, what does this have to do with anything? They're going to unsubscribe for your email. All your efforts of building your list is going to go down to the drain. You're going to be wasting, opportunities to convert. And you're going to start getting the typical marketer fear that when they're new, it's like when they get unsubscribed from the email list, they stop sending emails. And it's like, I don't want them to continue losing emails. It's like, well, you're losing them anyway because you're not using them. But they don't want to send them because they lose. Well, you're going to lose email regardless of. Every single day, every single time that I send an email out, I get at least 2 to 5 people to unsubscribe. It's a norm. It's the typical. You have to say, okay, if I'm going to lose 2 or 5, I'm going to add 10, and it's how you grow your list. You have to add and reduce, add and reduce, add and reduce. But you start targeting your email to the complete wrong audience. They're gonna say, "Yeah, I don't want this. It's junk. I don't care about your magic pills. I want to know about soccer, and it's gonna be completely off the market." So we want people to focus on one niche and drive it, and think about a product, think about a story, think about a relation that you can do. Another thing that these stores are going to allow you is to have, a social cause. A lot of people always ask me, Fernando, how can I get a charity in Amazon? That's impossible. They will shut you down immediately as long as you say that some of these proceedings go to whatever cost you have. They shut you down because first of all, it's against terms and conditions, and second, it's open to a lot of fraud. When you have your standalone store, you can actually contact your local charity and say, hey, can I use your name to get proceedings for you? And most likely they're gonna say yes. And so you get some money and
That's a really good point.
You get royalty. And it also, believe it or not, it also helps a lot in conversions. When you have a social cause, people are like, oh, these guys are not all about themselves, and always pick a cause that is related to your niche, right? If you are in the dog niche and your charity is about cats, they're gonna be like, this guy is completely confused. So they're not gonna interact with your business, right? So it's one thing. Another thing that you can do with this thing is that these stores come with a blog included. So you can create top 10 journals that you must have this Christmas, and or the top 10 gifts that you should get this Christmas, and all the products, guess what, are yours. And then you go on Pinterest and create those magical pins that everybody does with the 10 things to do and the 5 things to not to do and things like that, and all things are yours. Now you're driving traffic to your store. There's a clickable product that people can convert. That people, they're not gonna get the squirrel syndrome that people get when they go on Amazon, that they go to your listing and then at the bottom is like 30 different products that they're saying, you may also like these. And it's like, well, I like that one better. It's not an also, it's either or. I don't want this one now, I want something else. And they go to somebody else and they buy from somebody else. Here is like, you may also like this. And you're like, yeah, I like that, but that one is also yours. So you can capture the customer inside your store to make a purchase when you drive traffic like this. And these blogs are amazing SEO traffic drivers, and and they can generate money. And these things are included in this. It's a tool that is included in these stores for free.
Wow. Yeah, blog is a whole nother way. That's perfect. I didn't even think about the angle of like that when you're on KDP, you can't work with charities or with other people very easily, but with your own website, you can. That's huge. I mean, who knows? You could partner maybe with a school or with charities or with another person. It's limitless, all the stuff you could do.
Lots of ideas.
Amazing. I know. And then with the emails, you could even just give them what the donations to the charity did, or like how it helped them and things like that.
Oh yeah, you can create social proof.
Amazing.
You can go to your charity with the check. You can take the picture with whoever it is, and you can actually put them in your blog. Say, hey, we were able to, because of your purchase, we were able to donate this much money. Here's a big picture of the check, but we actually did the donation. Those things add to social proof, and believe it or not, the youngs and millennials, the Cs, they like that type of thing in your stores. They like to see, that you're involved in social causes. The older we get, we don't really pay that much attention to those things, but the younger generations do. And that is a big factor in conversions as well. How involved with your community are you, and the things they believe.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, this sounds really good. Do you have any, let me see, guys, do you have any questions that we before they go? Following along your struggles when you had to evacuate from Oregon. So I'm glad that you're okay and your animals are okay. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Michelle had a whole bunch of horses and she had to evacuate her whole farm.
Yes. My horses are back
okay too.
All the animals are safe. Yes. Yeah, it was so sad because the horses, they had ashes on their back and their faces had ashes from the wildfires on them. It was so sad. Yeah. Now they're fine and they're just dandy, happy campers in the farm right now. But yes, I was thinking of some of the things. Fernando and I have got a few questions that have come through from people, and I'm trying to think if there's any of those that we didn't answer today.
Well, somebody's asking, we have samples for to show. So
yeah. Oh, he has one of the spirals there.
So this is the spiral, and I made this one. I am not a KDP guy, so
yeah, you did it.
I did it. This is the spiral book. Since that was going to be for me, I honestly just wanted to have a notebook. So it is. This one was about $5.80. It's 100-page. And honestly, these ones are converting for anywhere from $14.99 to $17.99. You can go inside and do as fancy as you want in black or white, or color.
And the paper is so nice.
Whatever you want. So.
Yeah. They're a little heavier than the KDP ones. I don't have, this one on KDP. This is one from my mermaid store. But it's a little heavier because the paper is thicker. So I keep the pages down to like 100 for mine. I don't know how many pages is yours there, Fernando.
It's 100 as well.
Yeah, it's 100 as well. But the paper is like actually thicker. It's a much nicer quality of paper that they have. This is for our fulfillment publisher does a beautiful job on this here. Excellent questions.
Amazing.
Well, yes, and everything will be recorded. Like Fernando said, we like to do these lives so people can answer questions. If you come to our site and Helen referred you, please use Helen's link. Or if you forget, just send me an email that says, Michelle, remember to buy Helen a cup of coffee. I had someone do that last time, by the way, Helen. So I sent her little,
Really?
Yeah, I did. I sent it to you anyway. I'm like, oh, by the way, this guy sent
Oh my gosh.
cup of coffee. So I sent her a little special token because Helen's so awesome. So if you accidentally forget to use her link, please let us know. But use Helen's link because we just want to honor her for she works so hard and brings such amazing stuff out to everybody, not just Fernando and I, but she brings a lot of education and gives so much to everybody. And we thank you for that, not just for us, but for all the I've got great information from people you've brought on here before too. So it's a great service that you do to a community, Helen.
Another thing that I use.
Thank you so much.
Another thing I remember people ask, it's because a lot of people's only interaction with books is with the KDP. They are so used to the KDP process, right? And it's like when all the merchants go into other platforms, they're like they want to do exactly the same thing that merch does. And one thing is you don't need ISBNs numbers for these type of books because these are actually low content, not really books. Journals, agendas, calendars, they don't require ISBN numbers because they're not literally books. So you don't need them for your store. You notice in the deal, we don't ask for an ISBN section. Now you could have it if you want to, but you have to now buy the ISBN number of the where you have to buy it because those ones get recorded in the Library of Congress. So right now, honestly, what Amazon does is a bunch of junk that gets into that database. In this case, we don't have to do those. So yesterday, somebody asked us if we need a pen name. It's like you don't have an author for a journal, for a notebook, for a calendar, for anything like that. Those ones don't require to have authors. One thing that we enter authors because KDP was not built for this type of books. They were built for actual real books, and and they have that field there that is now kind of like the branding situation. But you don't need to have. There is nowhere in the store that they're going to ask you who is the author of this because literally speaking, you didn't write anything.
Our brand, it's your store brand, and that's the great thing about it.
Yes, exactly. The creator of your store is your brand. So your domain, whatever you decide to name me.com, is the author of this is the owner of this product. So that is a one-step removal that you do. You can do the tags. These stores depend heavily on SEO. So and as Michelle showed you at the bottom, the listing, you work on how this listing is going to show on Google. In Google, how in Google Shopping and stuff like that, because Google's like to use these stores for that as well. So and as we said, we will connect these stores also into eBay, so you can go and do that. Journals and books do sell. There are some products like I have never been able to convert, like T-shirts. I have never been able to convert shirts on eBay, but I have been able to sell other products that they're very, very well from my stores. But yeah, so Michelle, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Do you know how connect to Etsy too, or just eBay?
What's that? It is possible to do.
Do you show how to connect to Etsy?
I'm sorry. Do you have a lower lag? It goes late. What?
She asked if I'll see out of maybe mine isn't lagging. I'll go ahead and answer that. The question was, does it also connect to Etsy? Now you could do that. There's additional processes to do that, and we just have that limited focus time. So we picked the most streamlined, fastest ways to get people up and running. So we're just going to go through having your own online storefront first. And if that's something somebody wants to do later on, there is capability for it, but we're not focusing on the Etsy element of it.
Yes, it could be done, and you asked me, I could tell you how you could do it. It requires a couple of setting up a couple of tools and stuff like that. But because of the cost involved in using that tool, and because of the time that it will take to actually implement it, we decided that in those little 2 classes, it was going to be overwhelming and it was going to be completely off track.
Mm-hmm.
But for those of you who want to sell journals on Etsy, I can tell you that it can be done. I mean, I have been able to list journals on Etsy successfully in the past, and they were a different type of books because I was using different type of supplier. They were not the ones, but spiral bound tend to do very well on Etsy. So it can be done. Just like you can do any other product, you find the right way to integrate it through art, to it. But we're not going to cover it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. That was all my questions. So I think that's probably all we need, unless there's anything else you want to add.
Yeah, Helen, I just want to reiterate to, click Helen's link, of course, if you're interested in this, and come on over and join us. We're starting on Thursday, which is in 2 days. And, this is what it's all about. We're coming into fourth quarter. So many of the students have already signed. We have a lot of people have signed up already. And it's interesting because in the Facebook group, we have people saying, this is what I've been wanting. I've been wanting to be able to differentiate myself from Amazon. This is what I've been waiting for. And all the feedback has just been so positive from all the folks who are already, on the other side now. And so, we invite you to join us too. We really do. This is the time right now before fourth quarter to have it up and running. And we will record it. So if it's not the time for you, you can always join us later. But we invite you to come and join us. Thank you. What time on Thursday? 3:00 Pacific time.
It's 5 p.m. Thursday Central Time. So I believe you're in Chicago, so that will be Central. So it's 5 p.m. on Thursday.
And then
the rest are going to be earlier. This one just got us in
conflict
mix.
And then the other 2 will be at 1:00 Pacific, so a little earlier, which is helpful for. We already have folks in the UK that are in here, so it's easy, and Australia, so it's easier for them the earlier session. So we've got it split a little bit, but we invite you to come and join us. Click Helen's link down there. Ask questions if you have them too. We're happy to answer those, and we'd love to see you on the other side with us.
Yeah,
so come along with us. Let's go.
You to add something while you are joining this, you're gonna have a special promotion, which is Helen also will get credit for. Michelle and I have a deal that we both have our mastermind. So, and we are actually giving the price of 2 for 1 for a 30-day trial period. So you guys have ever been interested on working with Michelle, working with me, get into our coaching group calls and stuff like that. You will get 1 month try if you actually select that option at checkout.
That's an option, yes. So we
wanted. It's kind of weird in PC because it says below, above, and you have to actually click at the bottom, literally above the whole text, not above what it says above. So some people have been telling us that they have been missing it, but you look for it, it's there.
Yeah. So, you can choose that or not. If you decide you want to, work with us individually, there's an option there. But other than that, there's nothing else to buy. Will you click the buy button here and we get started with it. So, yeah, come along with us. Let's
thank you guys. Yes, thank you guys so much. Thank you for putting this together. Thank you for telling our audience about it, because I know a lot of people will be interested in that and it'll really help them. So thank you guys. Really appreciate you both.
My entire pleasure.
Right.
For having us.
Well, yeah, and everybody looks forward to it. So make sure you sign up before Thursday. It starts on this coming Thursday.
Yes,
24th.
Thursday the price goes up to $197. So you guys want to join it, is make sure to do it before that time, because we will be raising the price. It's completely frozen.
All right. Well, guys, and thank you everybody who was watching.
All right.
See you guys. We'll see everybody on Thursday.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. See you later.